Hello everybody, I'm Eugene.
And I'm Muffin.
And welcome back to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. Today we shall be reading Chapter 2.
Things are getting good.
This chapter is titled New Horizons, and reading this shall be our lovely little Muffin woman.
Mm-hmm. So let's get right into this. Author's note. Hello friends, I've been getting so many lovely, thankful messages from mommies everywhere, and I just want to say thank you for all your encouragement. However, I've also been getting several messages saying that my story is bad because Harry Potter is not just about witches. It is also about friendship and kindness and bravery. Listen to these people, lady. Like, they're right.
And it won't turn your children into witches.
It teaches them a little bit about witchcraft, but it's more than just that. It's about, the friendship, the kindness, the bravery, the sacrifices that Harry makes, and that his friends make. And, friends, this is exactly what I've been saying. Harry Potter has many good things about it, but it still has witchcraft. So my children cannot read it. But that is why I am writing this, so they can have all the adventure and good morals of the Harry Potter books without all that bad stuff that is bogging it down. I mean, Matthew 3:12, am I right? So without further ado, on to the chapter. I'm gonna look up what Matthew 3:12 is, lady. I'm gonna throw down with you right now.
It's you've obviously read the Harry Potter books, so you wouldn't know how certain character names and what Hogwarts is. You just wouldn't know certain things if you didn't read the book.
But it makes me mad that you take the time to read the books and all you'd get out of it is, oh, this is good, but the witchcraft makes it terrible. No.
So you're worried about your children being turned into witches for reading the books. It's obvious you read the books. Want to know what that makes you? A witch. Ha. Ha 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 ha.
So anyway, Matthew 3:12, King James Version. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. I'm not gonna fight about this because I would go out on this long tangent about how, oh my goodness. But yes, it has witchcraftery in it, but it's
not gonna turn you into a freaking witch.
It's not gonna turn your kids into a witch. They learn more, like what I took away from I read the Harry Potter books, and what I took away from them wasn't, witchcraft. I took away from the bravery and the friendship and the good story and the kindness, that you're talking about is in it. I didn't take away any of the whole witchcraft part. I took away, the morals and the adventure and the cool stuff that Harry and his friends did.
And another thing I think a lot of people, when reading the Harry Potter books, get out of that, what house would I be in?
And, if you take out the wizardry, it's going to be really hard to make an interesting book. Anyway, so without further ado, on to Chapter 2. Oh, that rhymed. Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles, Harry queried and clasped his hands. Just at hearing that name, he felt such a sense of inner peace. Oh, sense. I read tense. Such a sense of inner peace. He wanted to have more of that peace, and he wanted to learn how to be a good Christian. He was starting to think that peace and being a good Christian were, in fact, the exact same thing. I want to go there. Hagrid beamed widely. He had been praying so hard to save a soul today, and he was so happy to have saved the soul of such a sweet, earnest little one. The poor boy, being raised by two parents who were not Christian, and who both went to work and left him with the babysitter all day long.
What's wrong with that?
It was a good thing Hagrid had got there in time. 5 years down the road, Harry might have been a fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Once Eugene shuts up, we'll continue on. Don't be silly, Harry, Aunt Petunia commanded, and wrung her long, bony hands. Come back inside. I will read you about evolution from the Dawkins. You do not need that silly religion.
The Dawkins.
The Dawkins. Harry scrunched up his innocent little face and thought very hard. You don't need the freaking... The writing in here is also, terribly done. Anyway, Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon were as close as parents he had. You also... you're putting, is it semicolons? I believe it's semicolons where you should just have commas. And this was the only home he knew. Could he really leave? But he was saved now. He had prayed the sinner's prayer. He could not stay here anymore, not with what he knew now. Suddenly, he knew what he had to do. No, Aunt Petunia, he uttered calmly with childlike wisdom. Evolution is not real, and I am going to Hogwarts. No, Harry, Aunt Petunia screeched desperately. I have an idea. You can have a second birthday today. You like birthdays, right? birthdays are not of God. God. What?
Birthdays are not of God? What kind of... I'm sorry, lady, but how the fuck were you raised?
There is, like, kind of, it's like a branch of, would you call it a branch of Christianity? But there is a branch, I don't remember what it's called, but there is a branch that, like, they don't celebrate birthdays, they don't do, like, holidays, they don't do any of that stuff because they believe that, like, you know, it's not of God. So she might be thinking of this. Well, he might be thinking of this. So anyway, birthdays are not of God, Harry verbalized knowingly and looked at his aunt with an innocent wisdom. You tried to corrupt me, but it did not work. But I forgive you, Aunt Petunia, because of Luke 23:34. I'm going to look that up.
You have no idea what Christianity is. You just literally learned about it today. How the fuck would you know what Luke 23:34 is?
Yeah. Like,
how?
Kudos to you for trying to add verses into this, but yeah, Harry would not, like, Harry just got introduced to Christianity. He would not know what the hell Luke is. Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing, and divided up his clothes by casting lots. Oh, okay. So I believe this was when God, not God, but Jesus was already on the cross, and, like, he was dying, and, like, the guards were, like, gambling to find out who would win, like, his clothes and the stuff he had in his pockets. And he looked up to God and he said, like, you know, I know they're doing all this terrible stuff to me, but forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So Harry is like, yeah, you tried to corrupt me, but I forgive you because, you know, God said to forgive and whatever. Anyway, Hagrid was amazed once again at the wisdom of the little ones. Little ones? Or, yeah, Harry. He did not know if he could forgive someone who had hurt him as much as this woman had hurt little Harry. Deny him the truth? Who could be so cruel? But Harry did not even think twice about it. He forgave, just like that. Truly, Hagrid gained a new understanding of Matthew 19:14 that day. NIV, okay. Matthew 19:14. Jesus said, Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these.
Okay, then.
Do not leave, Harry, Dudley wailed childishly. I must, Harry said, and stepped over the threshold. Goodbye, Dursleys. I hope you are saved too, one day. And with that, he and Hagrid began to walk down Private Drive. How will I get to this school, Hagrid? Harry queried curiously. We will pray, Hagrid retorted knowledgeably. How do we do that? Harry solicited inquisitively. You're using a lot of big words, and on one hand, I like it, but on the other hand, I'm like, just stick with one thing for asking a question.
It really makes it seem like you're just putting in these big words without knowing what they
To look
actually
smart,
mean. Yeah.
Watch, Hagrid said, and then got down on his knees on the road. He motioned for Harry to get down on his knees, too. Hagrid raised his hands to heaven and cried out in a deep, thunderous voice, Dear Lord, take us to Hogwarts! Harry felt himself being whisked away, and in a moment he was sitting in the cool, damp grass outside of a humongous, beautiful castle. He looked in awe at the tall towers of the grey stones. What a beautiful place!
That was apparition. That was a holy version of apparition.
A tall, thin man with a long, pointed beard and big, wire spectacles stood in front of Harry. He was wearing a brown tweed suit and nice matching hat. His shoes were made of leather and polished until they shone. He had a smile much like Hagrid's smile, so peaceful. Harry just knew he could trust him. A lovely, kind young woman with flowing blonde hair and a pleasant, heart-shaped face stood beside this holy man. Hello there, little one, the man greeted amicably. I am the Reverend Albus Dumbledore, and this is my wife, Minerva. Welcome to Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
You married Albus and Minerva? Why?
Authors are at the end. Blessings. That's all it says. It's blessings.
Okay, what I really hate about this story is the person who wrote this, really is trying to push the point that anybody who doesn't believe in God is evil and they're terrible people and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't like that. I really don't. That Minerva isn't a young woman with flowing blonde hair, if I remember. She's an old lady. Minerva is an old lady with brown hair. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but I haven't really read the books.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, Minerva, okay, you know that witch who, like, can turn into a cat and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is her. She Yeah, she doesn't have long blonde hair. She has brown hair, going on gray in the last couple of movies, and she is not young.
She's old, and she wasn't married to Albus.
And yeah, I too don't I read the books, but I don't remember if she had a different color hair in the books than she did in the movies. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with brown because I, for the life of me, cannot remember.
Yeah, and oh gosh, that's it for this episode.
We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.